Lights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings in our blood, we rise strong and proud. Running up to score, Kings never back down. If you don't like that, this ain't your town.
Well, they finally get a W, 115-104. That was one of the weirdest second halves that I can remember. I mean, the Kings are up double digits at the half. They get outscored 29-12 in the third, and then they outscore Minnesota 34-18 in the fourth. I'm going to make this comment here, and if you get pissed off at me, go right ahead. Both of these teams are talented. I look at both these rosters, and they're talented, but neither of these teams are good right now. They're just not. That's how I analyze this game. But the Kings needed a win. They got a win. It is a huge win, and now it's on to Portland.
I'm glad this thing behind me still works. This beam. It does.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Yeah. You know my favorite thing about this game, Grant? And yes, the Kings ended on a 30-6 run. 30-6. Appreciate the fight. Still got to talk about the negatives here in a little bit. But the attitude of Jay Crowder down the stretch. He was up in Julius Randle's grill, more or less. I think that's what the kids call it. He was giving him a hard time, and then he just smashes that three at the end of the game. He didn't need to shoot that three. He just nailed it, nothing but net. That's like that little bit of swag, that little bit of attitude that people have been asking for.
That's what this team needs.
Yeah,
this team
exactly
needs,
right.
This team is soft as a pillow. This Kings team is so soft. I mean, it's so soft. They need that. It's good. I like that.
It's a good thing. The third quarter, though, this team, they can't handle pressure, Grant. Minnesota turned up the dial. They pressured them. Yep. And all of a sudden, it's like you're a defensive back. It's just backpedaling. Yep. But nonetheless, they end the losing streak. They get a big win on the road. And they get to celebrate Thanksgiving in a better mood, Napes.
Absolutely. And I thought the Kings would win by 20 at half. I predicted a 20-point lead at the end of the game. They won by 11. And I said I thought that Minnesota would wilt in the fourth quarter because their overtime game last night, their major players played 40 or more minutes. And you know what? That's exactly what happened. The Timberwolves wilted tonight. I'm not taking anything away from the Kings because they played very well in the fourth. I mean, Fox and Monk carried the team in the fourth. Yep. But you could see Minnesota was their tank was on empty, big time empty.
Napes, we had it peppered. I said Minnesota was going to have a hot third quarter. The Kings would end up getting it by 15. So we are right in between, right in the sweet spot, baby.
Yep. Amen. Absolutely.
Good job by
you. Want to call the show? We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, I also need a rant. All right. I need some rant ideas, a rant with Grant. So give me, it can be basketball, football, whatever you want, a rant with Grant. I'll do that a little bit later in the show.
Looking forward to it. Link is in the chat. If you want to call, use the QR code on the screen. We want to hear from you. Happy Thanksgiving in advance. Yes. Blessed to be with all of you. So thank you. Yes. And let's kick it off with Andy. Andy, welcome in. You're on with Grant and Ryno.
What's up, guys? Good to hear from you guys again. Happy early Thanksgiving to both of you guys.
Same to you, Andy. Thank you.
Of course. Obviously, there was a lot of good things. You know, the playmaking from Malik Monk, the playmaking and, you know, coming in off the bench with Isaac Jones, with the rebounds, with the easy buckets. Like, he brought a good spark off the bench.
Yes, he did.
You know, hopefully that can continue. We just never know. Definitely want to take this win with a grain of salt because, like Grant said, like the Timberwolves aren't a good team right now. So, like, yes, we performed well, but, you know, performing well against a team that's not playing well at all, I mean, it's encouraging, but, you know, I'd like to see the same energy against the Blazers too to really let us know that we're on to something. One negative that I did want to point out is, especially in that first quarter, I think Sabonis within the first 5 minutes had 4 turnovers by himself. He had an amazing game overall, but I don't know what that is over the last 6-7 games. It's got to be up to like 40 turnovers at this point. And I think
I don't know about that. He only had 3 for the entire game.
So, Andy, coming into tonight over the 4-game losing streak, he was averaging 4.7. So, yes,
He
they
had
were
3
definitely
tonight.
up.
Oh, my apologies on that. I must have thought he
No
turned it
problem.
over a second
No
time.
problem.
Thanks for correcting that. But
Yeah,
but
no
yeah,
problem.
just the silly turnovers like the just giving it up, dribbling too much. I just hope, he can clean that up. And also the toughness that Jay Crowder brought. I mean, he only scored, I think, 8 points,
Right.
but I mean, that's a big, veteran presence. His defense, his team defense rather, was good. He gave Julius Randle, I mean, when they were going back and forth, it's just like good energy. I feel like sometimes this team, the Kings team, will play kind of soft, and I feel like him and Malik are kind of cut from the same cloth in the sense that, like, they're dogs. They're gonna push, and they're gonna fight, which I really like about Jay Crowder.
Throw Foxy in there. See how he ended the third quarter? It could have
Yeah.
been easy to fold your tent. He came up with a big play.
Huge shot.
Yeah.
I mean, because they would have been down. They would have gone into the fourth down 86-79 instead of 86-81. Taking that ball away from Edwards and making that shot was huge.
Yeah, definitely a good momentum stopper for sure. Like, just to finish the quarter off with that.
Yep.
What moving forward, what do you guys think the starting lineup is going to be? Probably knowing Mike Brown, he'll probably keep it the same with Jay Crowder in moving to the
Not
Blazers.
if DeMar DeRozan's healthy. He won't.
That's true too. So I'm wondering if he's just gonna take
Jay
Jay.
Crowder's not a starter on this team. He's a bench player, and he'll be coming off the bench when DeMar DeRozan returns to the lineup.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it'll probably be the same lineup that it's been all year. And you think Keon Ellis is probably going to continue to start moving
Yes.
forward as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stay in the starting lineup. Yeah.
Did you watch Kevin Herter tonight?
He didn't even play that much, to be honest. He didn't really get
14
much.
minutes, one
Yeah.
of 6 and 1 of 5 from the floor. Again, he's just in, and Keegan Murray again still can't shoot the ball. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. I look at his numbers: 4 of 11 and 0 of 4 from downtown. It's unbelievable to me. He can't make a shot right now.
You know what, though? His 4 came at some big times, and some of them were a little bit more than just 2 points. It was a little bit of a statement, a turn of momentum, and he was Johnny on the spot, as he always is with the charges. And if you didn't notice, they switched him onto Ant into the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Made a little bit of a difference.
I'm not saying he didn't play well. I didn't say that. I just said he's not shooting the ball well.
Fair enough. That is true. So, Andy, hey, hope you have a great Thanksgiving, buddy.
Hey, you guys too. We'll chat Friday.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good stuff from Andy.
Yep. Well, this was such a huge win for this team. It didn't matter how they got it. They just needed to get a W and get out of town and try to get a little momentum. They would have really been in deep trouble, because I'm looking at all the scores tonight, right? I mean, Houston won.
Hold on really quick. We
Yeah.
need to stop something.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Bass. Isaac Jones is not your savior, my man.
Oh,
He
my
is
God.
nothing close. So
What's wrong
I
with
saw
you
it at
people?
halftime. I saw it coming
What's wrong
through
with you
here.
people?
Isaac played very well tonight. It's going to be infrequent that he plays that
wrong
well.
with you
Doesn't
people?
mean he can't have an impact.
Come on.
Dude's not the savior.
Memphis won. Dallas won. The Clippers won. Houston won. Portland, who's behind the Kings, lost. Oklahoma City is playing Golden State early in the first quarter. Denver is blowing out Utah. They're going to win. Brooklyn, I got to give them credit. They're up on Phoenix 78-66, and it looks like the Lakers are going to beat San Antonio. So just about every team in front of you won, which would have made tonight even that much more difficult.
I don't
Had
know
they
how
won.
you would have swallowed this one tonight.
It would have been a
especially-
disaster.
Yeah, the style that it happened, where you play such a wonderful half. Grant, it feels like unless this team's back is against the wall, or you're playing a really good team, it's laissez-faire, right? It's just kind of coast along until we need to turn it on.
And if De'Aaron Fox misses any action, this team is screwed. I mean, this team would not function without De'Aaron Fox at all.
This is the best De'Aaron Fox I've ever seen.
I agree. Yep.
It's the
I
best
agree.
version of him I've ever seen. Look at they had a graphic tonight on the telecast that showed points in the paint for this month in the NBA. He's second, and everybody else on that list was a big. He's
Well,
playing out of his mind. Best version.
yeah. Thank
Indeed.
goodness, because he and Monk tonight in the fourth quarter were incredible. Sabonis got in foul trouble in the third. He got 5
Yep.
fouls. I thought that was another key. Him staying on the floor when he got back into the game.
Great point, Grant. Huge point, because that's where the momentum changed. I mean, you saw it coming, it was building, and as soon as he went out of the game, Mike Brown scrambling. What can I put in? He went to Doug freaking McDermott over Kevin Huerter tonight.
How
Doug
about that?
McDermott over Kevin Huerter. Wow.
Says a lot.
Does. Let's go to the phones. J Cal, happy advanced Thanksgiving. You're on with us.
Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving.
Same
Good
to you.
win. Good win, finally.
Yeah.
Thank God for Fox and Monk.
Yep.
I can be thankful for that. I like Jay Crowder too. I like his hustle and I like his smack talking. Finally, like a dog on his team that won't take shit for nobody. Am I allowed to cuss? But
yes. But we don't
okay.
like it, but you're allowed to. I mean, we curse occasionally, but we don't prefer it on this platform.
Okay.
But it's okay. We don't want to encourage it.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. But yeah, good win. And I just want to tell you guys, hey, I appreciate you guys doing this after every single game, win or loss.
Thank you. Well, we do it for you and everyone else, and we greatly appreciate your participation and following us, and spread the word to your friends, because people still are finding us every day, and get the word out. You can help us market the show and let people know we're doing this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. For sure. All right, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You
Thanks,
too.
Jake.
Appreciate
you
it.
too. And thank you to everybody in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can. They go fast. Super chats get priority because they come up on our screen. They go to the top.
Thank you for
but
that.
we appreciate all of you, definitely. Let's kick it back to the phones. We've got Jeff from Texas, all the way from Texas. Welcome in, Jeff.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Hey, I got 2 points. One funny one is it's funny that this team is so soft that 27 minutes from the new Jay Crowder, everyone's like, this is what we needed all along. And it's great. I love it, but it just shows how bad I think we needed that kind of attitude. And hopefully he brings that in the future. Obviously, his role is going to be limited a little bit once everybody comes back, but that's a good sign. And also, like you said, Grant, I noticed how important it was that Sabonis stayed on the floor with all those fouls. The discipline he had, it showed his hard work and his just basketball IQ. So I think basketball IQ at the end of the game is what led to the victory. And it wasn't the best win. It was a great win, but it's always fun to light that beam all the way from Texas.
Yep. Especially after you've lost 4 in a row.
Yes, exactly. And thank you guys.
Thank you.
Guys, I'll be honest with you. I moved from California 2 years ago, and you're the only thing I listen to keep up on the Kings. And Ryno, you are a breath of fresh air, my friend. It's nice to have the next generation that we can follow and respect. And thank you.
That means the world. Thank you very much, Jeff. Jeff, what part of Texas are you from?
I'm currently in Austin, Texas.
All right.
Beautiful part. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, have a great one. Appreciate the kind words.
Yes,
Thanks,
and I'll call back more often, y'all.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Good stuff.
Really nice comments. Appreciate that. I know you appreciate that as well. And have a good night and a good Thanksgiving in the Lone Star State. Speaking of Texas, just to talk about what I did earlier at 3 o'clock, Sean Salisbury, who lives in Houston and works in Houston, was on with me. And he was with me for like 25 minutes. And if you just want to have an inspiring listen, go back and watch that right here on these platforms, or you can go to Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you listen to my work. I love that conversation we had today. He was great.
You know what I would say? There was about this much of sports and there was about this much of life. I would say just pass that along to somebody you know. Send them that link, because you don't know who that conversation could help. It was that good between the two of you.
We've only talked at the end about sports, and I asked them about the USC Notre Dame rivalry, and that's it. We didn't talk about anything else other than life and important things in life.
Very important things indeed. Yep. I'm really glad you brought that up. Emma, light the beam. You're on with Grant and Ryno.
Hey, Emma. Oh! That's it.
Oh man, we're thankful for our trolls too, right, Grant? Got to be
We
thankful
always
for
are.
them.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go to our
Not.
guy. Yeah, right. Let's go to our guy Dash. We haven't seen him for a while. What's up, Dash?
What's up, guys? Yeah, man, I had a baby during the off season, so it's a lot tougher to stay up on the East Coast for these.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congrats.
you. I appreciate it. So give me a couple minutes because I've been watching you guys. I watch it next day, after I wake up. But I remember last game last year when we got kicked out of the play-ins. One of the things I said is, look, the West is going to get better, and if we don't get our things together, like we might be a team that's only better than like the Jazz and the Blazers. And I'm sure it's a short season right now, but that's exactly where we are, minus the Pelicans with their injuries, right? And the truth is, the West is tough, but the DeMar DeRozan trade should have helped. One other thing I said was we don't have that pure scorer we can go to in the clutch. Yes, De'Aaron Fox is a great clutch player, but that pure scorer, we got that, but we didn't. What we didn't get was address our length. We still have trouble with teams with length. We still have trouble with our defense on the perimeter. And it's still early in the season, but it was good to see Jay Crowder. Again, it doesn't help the length problem because he's a 6'6" forward, but the passion, the sort of grit that he brought just coming off the street, starting lineup, but still made an impact in the game, even if it's like frustrating the other team's star player, that counts for something, along with Monk's energy. And then, Fox is Fox. He's having a hell of a season. And that does something. And I think that the team needs that. The team needs that grit. So it was good to see that as today for sure from Crowder. The one thing I want to say, why are we complaining on air about foul calls when we had 8 points in the third quarter?
Because it's amateurism at its best. That's why. It's amateurs doing the game for the Sacramento Kings. That's why.
It frustrates me because guess what? Last year I could go to some games where we ended up in the 2-minute report, and yes, it could have made the difference towards the end of the season of us being in the the playoffs versus a play-in. But this isn't the time to do that. I don't want to hear about missed call, that's a foul. No, we are the Sacramento Kings. We have 3 studs, literally. Fox is a stud. He's having a hell of a season. Sabonis is a stud, and DeMar DeRozan at this age, even he's still a great player. Sure, he's injured today or he's not playing today, but even in all the games I've been watching, it's just like I don't want to hear the complaints anymore. I've been a Kings fan for the last 3 decades. I don't want to hear the complaints anymore. We're capable of winning. We need to shore up our bench. There might be a trade or two that needs to happen, whether it's Herder, Keegan, and I like Keegan early. Whatever it is, whether it's picks, whatever that's going to look like, front office will take care of that. Maybe we need to do that against a tough West conference. But I'm done with the excuses. I don't want to complain about the refs when we have.
It's embarrassing. That's what it is. It's an embarrassment, and I can tell you for a fact that the officials don't care for it. They listen to the games. They go back and watch the games. They're not happy with it. It's unprofessional, is what it is. It's unprofessional.
There's no need for it. It's too early. Look, that's not the reason why we're losing. If we're losing, it's because look, in the beginning of the year, one thing I noticed actually in our games, and I was impressed. It was third quarters, we were winning third quarters, and we were coming out hard. And guess what? The last few losses we've had, we've gone back to the old ways where we're coming out a little bit flat out of the halftime, right? Same thing tonight. So, anyways, I don't want to hear no excuses. Last thing I want to say, a lot of people might not have said, but shout out to Jordy Fernandez in Brooklyn and what he's doing with that team. We knew he was a great coach. He did great for us. Shout out to him, man. Back-to-back nights, Kings and the Warriors.
And they're up 10 right now with a minute left in the third at Phoenix. Phoenix played last night, and it's a back-to-back. But I'm with you. I like the way they're playing right now. And
Jordan,
nice to see you guys, man.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays.
Yep. Happy holidays, Dash. Thanks for checking in, and congrats again on the little one.
Thank you.
That's
Guys.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. Hey, before we move on, I hope you are planning on going to Bennett's tomorrow. They're open from 11 to 7, Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill. And if you're not and you want to, check them out at bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com. And go say hello to Brian and his staff for us. I was texting Brian a little bit earlier, wishing him a happy Thanksgiving, and he's very excited for tomorrow. Also, they have Thanksgiving dinners that you can pick up and take home. Bennett's restaurants.com. And if you happen to have any issues this holiday season with your plumbing repairs, plumbing needs, New Works Plumbing will be there for you. They've got a fix for you. You call 916-713-1010 or sackserviceplumbing.com. That's sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you.
Save that number. There's always that. If you're hosting Thanksgiving, there's always that in-law that will clog the toilet.
Oh, man.
It happens every single year. Really quick on the call tonight. It sounded like, and I'm not going to lament the point, it sounded like somebody at their son's game, like a middle school game. Oh, that's a foul. Oh, that's a foul. It was over the top. If you're going to do that, you got to be right about it. You got to be right.
It's, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the Kings telecast. I never do watch the Kings telecast.
Right.
But everyone that's on my social media account and my friends that are texting me in the middle of the game can't all be wrong. They're all saying the same thing. It's embarrassing. It's a freaking embarrassment. Stop it already, would you please? It's embarrassing. It's the NBA. You're not announcing a high school game. You're announcing the NBA. Be a freaking professional, would you please?
Amen. Speaking of professionals, professional.
What's up, Zach? Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Guru.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I'm glad I could finally say light the beam. It's been a while. Some good stuff that I saw today. We rebounded the heck out of the ball today. Our guards were rebounding the heck out of the ball. Monk and Fox had 8 each. That was good. And also, I mean, we all know how well they did scoring wise in the fourth and during the game, but they passed the ball today a lot. And they got 17 assists between both Fox and Monk. So we got to that's just really nice. I just like seeing the assists. I think we had looks like we had 28 of them. So that was good to see. And we got some other good stuff. Jay Crowder got the start tonight. We need another body on Julius Randle. So I think it was good. I mean, Julius Randle hit some shots, but he did turn the ball over a decent amount, and he was kind of playing iso ball, so it was good. It's good for us. Some of the bad stuff, I guess, we can't be scoring 12 points in quarters. We just can't. We just can't do that. We won't sustain this season if we do that. No. Even 15 or less or whatever, even close.
That's like the third time in, I believe, 5 games that the Kings have had a quarter that was below 15. Yeah.
Think about that. The Nets game in the fourth quarter, they only scored 15 in the fourth quarter against Brooklyn.
Yep. And you know what? We should have probably scored 10 because we just got lucky on that last Fox steal.
That's right.
I mean, it almost was 10 points. I mean, that's
awful.
That's really bad. But it is embarrassing. I don't see us making our corner threes at all. It's the easiest 3-pointer in the game. We just don't make them. I don't know what's going on. Kevin Huerter is just I don't know what. I don't even know if he's playing basketball sometimes today. He was 1 for 6, 3 turnovers. He almost killed the momentum of the game, just like the way he was turning the ball over a few times in that third quarter. He looked lost a little bit. And I think they gave, after one of his turnovers, they did like an Anthony Edwards layup that was wide open. I just felt like the team was kind of deflated after Kevin was playing poorly. But it's just good to see. It's good to see the Monk and Sabonis combination in that fourth quarter. I mean, that just brought us back to life and won us the game, honestly.
Yeah, you know who kind of saved that situation for me was De'Aaron Fox. Foxy was fighting for Kevin because Kevin did get fouled on that play, but Kevin just kind of had his hands up. Fox is the one that came off the bench. She was waiting at the table to check in. The corner 3, really quick, Zach, it's actually where the Kings shoot the ball the best. They just don't get enough of them. They shoot about 43 and 47% from the corners.
Yeah, it's just Keegan, he still can't make his threes. I don't even trust it when he's shooting the ball anymore, which is kind of sad. But I hope he gets together because honestly, if he just plays a little bit better, makes his 3-pointers. I mean, we can get on a run right now. We play Portland next. I mean, that's a beatable team and start a little win streak.
Yeah, and then you have to go home, unfortunately, where you can't play. So, but yeah, that's why you got to win your road games because this team's better on the road than they are at home.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people say we got the best fans, we got the best stadium, we got the best energy. they don't take advantage of it. But
No.
I mean, we play San Antonio as well, I think, when we get back home, and
Houston.
Houston. So hopefully,
How about
Houston will
Houston's
be a
back
tough
to
one.
back? Houston wins in Minnesota last night, and that's a tough back to back.
Amen.
All right, because you're in Philly. It's about a 2 hour and 15 to 20-minute flight, 2.5 hours, and you lose an hour. And they go into Philadelphia, and they blew the lead late in the fourth and sent it to overtime and still won the game in overtime. That's a big time back-to-back for the Houston Rockets. 2 games back-to-back in overtime. Think about that for a minute. That doesn't happen very often on the road.
Yeah, they look like a strong team. I mean, they're in the top 4 right now, and
They are the real deal. They are a strong team.
they are a strong team. And
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Zach. I just got to say this really quick. Torrey Eason is ridiculously good. He worked with Kawhi this summer, and he's like his skill set very similar to that, and he's had some big games for them off the bench. Their length was a problem last year. Wait till you see him this year.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're a little bit of a younger team, so they can kind of sustain this regular season, kind of like an OKC, and get a top 4 seed. I mean, that's how they're playing right now. They got a lot of length, and they'll be playing well. So it'll be a tough game when we play them next
week. And we talk about matchups. I don't like the Kings roster right now matching up against Houston. We'll find out next week, but that's not we saw it last year a little bit, although Fox missed both games in Houston. We'll see. You got to get through Portland first and then worry about your 2 home games.
The crazy thing about Portland, they're playing really good basketball despite the record. They have changed up a lot. So
they lost tonight on the road at Indiana. The final there was 121-114. But you're right. You cannot go in there taking this team lightly.
Nope, you cannot.
I just want to give also some quick props to Isaac Jones. I know people are saying he's a savior. He's not, but he
played
did.
Well.
Yeah, he played very well, and he's just coming. Just new, fresh green, and he's just coming in and he's just throwing in. We needed him to get some for our depth, and he played pretty good. He got a couple offensive rebounds, and he just looked like he was fitting in the offense. And I just like, I don't know if he can get that 3 ball going. He looks like they like those pick and rolls, because he was every time they did a pick and roll with him, he went back to the 3-point line and he was thinking about shooting a couple more than he did. But we'll see. I just hopefully this Monk can rejuvenate our bench coming back, and just get the offense flowing a little bit better when our bench is in and our starters are out.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving, bud.
Hope everybody's on their way to a great, great holiday tomorrow. And we appreciate the calls. Keep them coming right here on If You Don't Like That in the Kings Postgame Show.
The Rockets, they barely played Reed Shepherd too. He's just sitting there waiting. Pretty good shooter. Pretty good rookie.
Yeah.
They've been that good. So love all the calls. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Keep lining them up. John, welcome in, dude. Good to see you.
Hey, John.
Grant, Ryan, how are you guys?
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yes.
Man, to both of you as well. Finally, the beam's lit. I can see it right over my shoulder. I'm looking at it right now.
Good.
So it's not a lie. And it was flickering.
On tonight, but I'm happy we are.
It's kind of weird. Hey, it's kind of weird. Earlier, it was dark and the game wasn't over yet, but it was flickering like they were trying to see if it still worked.
Yeah.
And that's a true story. Hey, Grant, Jay Crowder, that guy, we used to call him Mr. Uh-oh, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, he was on the Clippers, and every time that Rashawn Holmes, and he always just kind of had the number. We called him.
No. That was not Jay Crowder. That was But Jay Crowder did play well against Sacramento in his career. But no, that
Who
was
the hell
not,
was that, man?
Now I'll come up with it in a minute. But go ahead, continue on. But it wasn't Jay Crowder.
Well, he might be our Mr. Uh-oh, because everybody knows when he comes into the game, it's uh-oh, something's going to happen, and it really did tonight. And I thought that was him. I can't wait till you come up with the name, but man, we really needed that. We really needed that win this evening. It was great to see. And hey, Grant, this platform you've got here, listening to Sean and Jerry today, and Sean, there's so many things I wanted to say about him and to him for being such a great individual. I wanted to tell him to say happy Thanksgiving to Russell, the young man that he saved on the freeway years and years ago now. Yeah. And I'm just saying it to you, Grant, right now, and you, Ryan, and your fam, and everybody, Star, Bula, Liam, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We're doing our best. Hey, if this turned into a 5-game loss, that would not be good. But we stopped it right there. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Thank you.
Tell Ash.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it very much.
Ciao. Thank you. Thank you.
Later, buddy. So the chat may have picked you guys up. Was it Montrez?
Yes.
Harold. Okay. There you go.
Yes.
That's who it was. All right.
All right. Before we move on, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. It is Calusa's newest residential community, and you can get all the information you need by going to calusasunrise.com from Blazona Development. Remember, there's no Mellorews, no homeowners at Sunrise Landing, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Good access to the major arteries like I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Just go to calusasunrise.com and you will get all the information you need. That is calusasunrise.com. We are talking about a Kings victory tonight, 115-104. We appreciate all the phone calls.
Absolutely. We are rolling them. Let's go to Rob. You're on with Grant Ryno.
Hey, Grant and Ryno. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Hey, I just want to say, Grant, just really quick. Growing up, I used to, when you think of Kings basketball, you think of Grant Napier and Jerry Reynolds. I just want to give you a big shout out and happy Thanksgiving to both of you guys.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yep. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you.
He nailed that. It's exactly what I think about. No doubt about that. Jay, welcome in tonight, pre-Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Hey, Jay, happy Thanksgiving.
I figured when you were talking about a guy on the Clippers, I figured it was Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
By the way, the what was it? The Rockets with the back-to-back. I'm not as impressed as you are, Mr. Napier over there. The Philadelphia 76ers are actually quite terrible. They're the worst.
Really? Well, let me ask you a question, Mr. J. Let me ask you a question. Make believe that they didn't play the Philadelphia 76ers tonight, all right? So let's make believe that they had an off night tonight, all right? Do you know that their record, if they didn't play tonight, would be 13-6?
You know what?
But they won tonight, so they're 14-6. But let's make believe they didn't play. You're not impressed with 13-6?
I will say I am impressed.
I'm not done yet. You want to know what else you should be impressed with? Their point differential is plus 8.5. Are you not impressed with that?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed about that.
Let's move on to the next topic because you're wrong, and I don't want to ruin your holiday. But go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
Hey, and this is after, Jay, this is after he got food back in his system.
Oh, that's right. You're coming off your 72-hour fast.
That's right. But I got my energy back, Jay, so don't mess with me, buddy.
I won't. All right. I won't mess with you.
Don't you mess with me, Jay.
If anything, it was more of a slide to the 76ers because they're looking pretty bad.
It didn't sound like that.
Yeah.
All right. Tonight, though, I do like the addition of Jay Crowder. I think he is what we kind of needed from Doug McDermott. I'm not exactly sure what was going on with the situation in the postseason. I'm not in the front office, but obviously they went with Doug at the beginning of the season. There was rumor about Jay Crowder, but I do like the fit. He had a couple turnovers tonight, but the turnovers did look like, I mean, he's going to have to fit in with this team eventually. Apparently, he wasn't at the shoot around, or he wasn't allowed to until the contracts were finalized. So it's like AAU basketball.
Hold on. He was at the shoot around. I just want to clarify that he did not participate.
He was there. He was there at shoot around watch.
Right. So that's what I meant then. I guess you're not allowed to until contracts are finalized.
Correct.
Right?
You cannot participate until pen to paper.
Okay, well then there you go. So there you have it. It's like an AAU basketball tournament. You pick up the guy from over there and say, "Hey, we need to buy," and he did great. I think he's a great addition to this team. Tonight's game is synopsis. I think Keegan had a good game. I think he did what he needed to. I think Fox did what he needed to. Monk was huge for us. You know, thankful he tends to go on a hot streak when we go to Minnesota. He likes the dog competition, against Anthony Edwards being a dog and Monk being a dog. So they like to go back and forth. And you see, Fox was getting in it too. He even shushed the bench after he made a three. So that's what we like to see, get into the game, fight, and that's exactly what Jay Crowder was doing. I love the passion and the clapping in the opponent's face. And,
right.
we didn't have that on this team really besides Monk. But now when you have like multiple guys doing it, it's great. And Sabonis did great tonight offensively. He kind of, had a couple rough first half on his first couple games back. And, Kevin Huerter, he still continues to struggle. I don't want to get too far into the offseason, but I don't know if he'll still be on this team come around the trade deadline, especially with the addition of a two guard, I guess you could say, in the draft.
Devin Carter.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're planning to move off of that. Also, I wanted to bring to the Kings fans' attention, missing Trey Lyles. I don't think it was as big of an impact as we thought it would be tonight. And I go and Grant, you've asked me about Trey and whatnot. And I was looking at the contracts and stuff because, I like to look into that. And he hasn't been extended. He's actually on the last year of his contract. And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on, well, I mean, the rule of thumb is if you're not going to bring a guy back in the offseason or extend him, he tends to leave the team a little bit early so he doesn't walk for anything. So I want to get your thoughts and opinions on
I
that.
don't know how I don't think a lot of people are licking their chops to get Trey Lyles.
He's a tag on. He's a tag on.
I mean, not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad we were able to light a beam. It was a while, and if you look at the 5-game streaks like the coaches do, it's an ugly 5-game streak. So
yes, indeed.
Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
You too, buddy.
All right, bye.
Hey, how about your Sun Devils really quick? There he goes. All right.
Sorry about that. Thank you for the super chat for a rant. I've talked about this before. Why does Mike Brown insist on keeping starters in a game when we're up or down 20 with 3 minutes left in the fourth? Terrible. I agree with you. I talked about this last night. Doesn't make sense to me.
Thanks, Dash, for the super chat, buddy.
Yep. Appreciate you. Really appreciate the calls. I don't know what the hell Jay's talking about with the Houston Rockets, though. He's not impressed. I don't care who you play in the NBA. When you have a long flight and you lose an hour after playing in overtime and you win another game in overtime, I'm impressed. I don't care who the hell you're playing. I'm impressed.
Yeah, second best differential in the Western Conference. Theirs keeps going up and ours keeps going down. So I can't say much there. But I think Jay likes to stir the drink a little bit. He likes to find the alternate angle. Hey, when you had me on your podcast the first time, I said that's what I like to do. Find the area that people aren't doing and go with that. So good job by Jay. All right, let's kick it back to the phones. We still got we already went to Rob. Rob's done. Charlie, what's up tonight, Charlie? How you doing? Charlie is off. No more Charlie. All right. Really quick, I'm going to ask you the corny question that every co-host asks. What are you thankful for, Napes?
My health. That's what I'm thankful for. I think people take their health for granted. I've never taken my health for granted. And, I've shared my experience of being with Scott Pollard hours after his heart transplant surgery. And when you see that and you see someone so close to you or a loved one or someone else who's in the hospital battling cancer or going through chemo or what have you, I've always felt this. I'm thankful, knock on wood, because maybe tomorrow I wake up and I'm not healthy, but right now I'm healthy and I'm grateful for that. So I am always thankful that I can say I'm healthy because you know what? I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how big your house is or what kind of car you drive or what your job is. Nothing matters if your health is in peril. All right. Nothing matters. Nothing. The only thing that matters is you're not healthy. And when you're not healthy and you're facing ominous odds, you don't care about money at that point. I've gone through cancer twice with a malignant tumor on my leg and melanoma, and it's scary when you go through it. And the thing that's the scariest part is waiting for the diagnosis. That's the scariest part. And you sit there And you don't think about your job. You don't think about your bank account. You're thinking about, oh my God, am I ever going to be able to, have a life? Or am I going to be able to watch my kids grow up? Am I going to be able to do this or do that? So I'm thankful for my health. And I think there are too many people that take their health for granted. I never have.
Amen. Well said. Jay says the same thing. Amen. Good job.
Yeah. And for those that are dealing with health issues this holiday season, my heart goes out to you, and know that you're not alone. And there are a lot of people praying for you and hoping that you get well and can live the productive life that you were living before you encountered this health issue. And I talk, not to go on a tangent here.
Yeah.
We lost so many great people this year before that they had a full life. And that's sad when you see lives cut short because of illness. That's just it's tragic.
Yeah, way too many. And I think what you just said is really important. The prayers, and also you talk all the time about medical technology, how much better it's getting.
Yes.
The fact you were with Scott hours
Yes.
after a heart transplant, the fact that I was telling you I was walking an hour and 30 minutes after a hip replacement, it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah, Wilson puts Derek Dickey up there. Derek was my broadcast partner for a couple of years. He was on the Warriors 1975 championship team with Rick Barry. And honestly, during that period of time, Derek was my very best friend. Derek and I, we spent so much time together. We golfed together on the road. We golfed together at home in Sacramento. He was the salt of the earth. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal guy. I've shared this story before. He was, after Sacramento, he went to work with Neil Funk, Chicago Bulls radio. And he was there for the last 3 championships that Michael Jordan won, doing the games with the legendary Neil Funk. And Derek was a very routine-oriented guy. He would either call someone at a certain time. He would do this. He would do that. Like, he didn't deviate from his routine.
Sure.
And his girlfriend, Sally, back in Sacramento, didn't get a phone call that day that he suffered a debilitating stroke. And Derek was actually on the floor of his condo in a high-rise condominium in Chicago, could hear the phone constantly ringing with voice messages, but could not move to do anything.
Oh.
And when he didn't show up to the arena, obviously they went in, they broke down entered his door, and they found him on the floor. He was paralyzed on half of his body. We were in Washington, and I had a day off shortly thereafter. And I'll never forget this. I flew to Chicago, walked in to the medical facility in Chicago, and walked in. It was he was in a very somber, medicated state. We couldn't really even have a conversation. I grabbed his hand, talked to Sally for a couple of minutes. I was there literally, I'm not exaggerating, 15 minutes. And I went back to the airport and I flew back to Washington. But when Derek was transported back to Sacramento to live in Sally's house, that's when I started my golf tournament, by the way, Ryan. I started my golf tournament back in the mid-90s for stroke awareness. And Derek, bless his heart, loved golf, but he still wanted to golf. And I would go, and Derek's a big guy, by the way. I would go to the house, pick Derek up, get him to the car, get him out of the car, and I'll never forget the first time we went to the range. He was so excited to go hit balls. And I kid you not, I put the ball on the tee for him 3 times, and he got winded and says, I have to go. I'm like, no problem, buddy, we'll go.
Right.
Three balls he hit with one hand, one arm, took him back. He was wiped out. just kind of labor just to get to the driving range and everything else. Because
Absolutely.
Derek was very proud. He didn't want to be wheeled around, and he wanted to walk with a cane or with a walker, or he was proud. So anyway, I started taking Derek to the driving range. I don't know, a couple times every month, or whenever he wanted to. I would go and take him to the range, and I started that golf tournament. And 2 years after this debilitating stroke, Derek died. And I just was like, again, I go back to health.
Yeah.
He was a person of great health. Didn't drink. Never drank. Never. Not overweight. Worked out every day. Was like a perfect, just perfect, And he had this debilitating stroke at, I think, the age of 49. I think he passed at 51, gone. So, yeah, when you ask me what I'm thankful for, a lot of people say their family. Well, that's obvious. But I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my health. And I will say that Derek was so inspirational to me. Never complained, not one time. Never said, why me? Wasn't ever like that. And he would always thank me. When I picked him up to take him, I said, you don't have to thank me. I'm happy to do it. I want you to get out of the house. You let me know. I'll do it anytime. And he was just always so gracious. I never saw Derek not being gracious. He never thought of himself. Never. That was so awful when we lost Derek Dickey. He was one of the great people I've ever been around, Ryan. He was truly one of my best friends. We did everything together. It's funny, when I met Derek and he became my broadcast partner, we just clicked, we just clicked. And he was, for anyone that met Derek Dickey or knew Derek, you know what I'm talking about. What a great guy. There was one thing I didn't like about Derek. Do you know what his hobby was?
What?
He loved snakes. And he had him in his condo when he played for the Warriors.
Oh, boy.
And he couldn't find a snake for 3 weeks that got loose in the condo. And after 3 weeks, they found it stuck underneath the couch in the springs of the couch.
Yeah,
alive.
that makes sense. I hope he kept non-venomous, right?
He had a python. Yeah, I believe so. I can't remember. I believe so, but I'm like, Derek, I love you, but I'm never coming to your house. I'm never coming to your condo. I love you. You're the best, but I ain't ever going there, my man.
I hear you. I like watching him from afar. I'll watch him on YouTube. Just don't bring him close to me.
And then, someone said I love Tisdale. Wayman Tisdale, same thing. We lost Wayman way too early.
Yeah.
I think it was 2007 we lost Wayman after his leg was amputated, and they thought they got all the cancer, and it didn't. I'll never forget the last time I saw Wayman was at the Radisson at the Dave Koz and Friends concert, and Tizzy was on tour with Dave Koz, and their music was just spectacular. And I had tickets with my wife. We were 4 rows from the stage outdoors at the Radisson. I used to love going to the jazz concerts out there. I used to go to all of them. And Tizzy's got that big smile on his bass guitar, and he's just smiling. And it's like the concert's already been going on for an hour. And I stand up, and he sees me, and in the middle of the lyrics, he goes, Grant Napier. And anyway, at intermission, I walked back to the green room, I got this. I said, hey, I'm tight with Tizzy. And he goes, yeah, come on. And I went into Wayman's room during intermission and had just the best talk with him. And that's the last time I ever saw Wayman, last time I ever talked to him.
I mean, you wish there was more opportunities, but what a great last memory. It's incredible.
It was great. I love Wayman. I love his music. His wife, Regina, who I had on my show.
Yeah.
And that was not an easy conversation for me. I loved her. Wayman, think about Thanksgiving. Now think about this for a minute. As we get ready to celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow, there are a lot of people that are alone. Okay. Yeah. They have nowhere to go. Some don't have the ability to go anywhere. Some don't have the ability to go to a restaurant, whatever the case may be. We all have different stories, different scenarios. They had an open door policy on Thanksgiving. You wanted to come over for Thanksgiving, you come over. Wayman and Regina invited me over for their Thanksgiving. I was single at the time. I was by myself, and going over to the Tisdales on Thanksgiving was like one of the great things because they were such great people, and there were other members of the organization there and friends. How cool is that the Tisdales had an open door policy on Thanksgiving, that if you wanted to come over and celebrate Thanksgiving with them, they wanted to have you. They were grateful to have you.
It's
Like that.
incredible. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
they were just, I'll never forget the gesture that the Tisdales provided me. And Gary Gerald will tell you the same thing. And Jerry Reynolds would tell you the same thing. And anyone that knew the Tisdales and knew Wayman, Wayman's the type of guy that you would never hear a bad word about. I told you the story, right? In
I think
college.
so.
Yeah, interviewing Wayman outside the locker room at
Yes.
the Illinois-Oklahoma game that was
Yep.
on the NBC Game of the Week. And Illinois won. Tizzy was Mr. All-World, and everyone knew. Wayman Tisdale was a household name back then in college basketball. And I was there focusing on Tizzy with my video camera. And anyway, I go back to their locker room, and the sports information director is there, and he asked me what I wanted. I said, I really would like to get a word with Wayman. He said, I don't really think Wayman's going to come out after a loss, but I'll ask him.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, Wayman comes out, very, very soft-spoken, very shy, asked him 3 questions, thanked him very much. When Wayman ended up on the Sacramento Kings, I said, you're not going to believe this. I go, I know you're not going to remember this, but I interviewed you outside the locker room in Illinois after a loss. And he goes, oh, yeah, I do remember that, because you're the only one I talked to after the group meeting. I didn't want to do any interviews because we had just lost on national TV, and it was a bad loss for us. He goes, I do remember. I said, yeah, you were so gracious. And I go, but you've changed. You were really shy back then. He goes, no, I wasn't shy. I was just upset that we lost. I'm like, okay, buddy.
I love it. And what you're thankful for is kind of in the same ballpark what I'm thankful for. And Charms hits it as well. It's this moment. Anybody that's ever lived without being present, once you start living in the moment to a degree, and you are present and enjoying the moments, because as you said, we've lost so many people. You don't know when it's going to be your last. It's a different type of life when you are in the moment rather than just walking through.
Absolutely. Time now for a rant with Grant. It is brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Just go to edhmotors.com. You'll get all the information you need at EDH Motors. They offer new vehicle brokerage. They also offer vehicle consignments where they sell your vehicle for you. And of course, they can buy your car and will sell pre-owned vehicles. This is a long overdue new concept. David and Adam, just 2 people trying to do something different and better over 4 decades of automotive experience. You'll take delivery at their auto lounge at the El Dorado Hills Town Center. And you know what that means? No dealership. That's right. You're not dealing with the pressure. You're not going into the F&I office, all of the things that you are accustomed to doing when you go to an automobile dealership. Their lounge is beautiful. I've been there, and it is a long overdue new concept. Again, go to edhmotors.com. Get all the information you need on EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. All right, so spare me on this, okay? Gotcha. A lot of us are going to be with loved ones tomorrow. We're going to be with family members, obviously, and we're going to be with people that we maybe are meeting for the first time or we only know casually. You know what? Save the politic talk and leave it in your car if you walk into someone's home. All right? Don't be that guy or gal who feels like you got to bring up politics. All right? I don't know about you. I don't want to be talking about politics at my Thanksgiving dinner with friends, okay? There are too many people that do that, and I look at them and I'm like, why? Why? Save it, all right? It's thanks freaking giving, all right? I've been very open about this. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your political beliefs are. Doesn't matter to me. You live in America. You're a United States citizen. Guess what? Vote for who you want. That's what our system is based on. All right. You hate Trump. You like Trump. You hate Harris. You like Harris. But I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. All right. But don't be trying to convince me at Thanksgiving dinner your political beliefs. All right. Don't care. Don't want to know. And I don't want to talk about it. So save it. All right. Please. Happy Thanksgiving. Zip it. That's my rant for tonight.
And also, don't make me try the dish that you made. If I didn't put it on my plate, I don't want to try it from your plate.
Amen.
So well said. And by the way, I got to shout this out really quick. It is my mother's 70th birthday tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
On Thanksgiving. So happy birthday, Lolo. I love you.
That's great. I love that. Thank you. Good job.
Of course.
Hey, let you know, Brooklyn is going to beat the Phoenix Suns tonight with 2 minutes left. They're up 125 to 112. How's that road trip going for them, huh? That's big time.
They got the King's rub. You know, those golden one center rims, they're a little bit wider.
Yeah. But anyway, we always appreciate you being with us. We appreciate your phone calls, your support. And again, we really, truly hope that you have a great Thanksgiving, a great holiday weekend. And we'll be with you again on Friday when the Kings are in Portland taking on the Blazers. We got a special show at what time on Friday?
5 o'clock.
And we're going to be on with Chad from Portland, right?
Yep. Chad from Portland does AM radio for the Blazers up there, 620, hosted The Drive. He's going to come on with us at 5 o'clock. It's going to be our pregame show. So looking forward to that, Napes, a lot.
I will be on with you guys for a while, and I'm looking forward to that. And then Jerry at halftime, and then the postgame show. Light the beam. How nice is it to light the beam before we get ready to embark on the big holiday?
Amen. Nothing better than a little beam and some turkey. And Furious, I saw your chat. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's a good day. And anybody that has a Thanksgiving this year where you've lost a loved one, and this is the first time.
Yeah.
Hope it's start of something new with memories of them.
Yes. And I also have two friends that have given birth in the last 6 months. So,
Awesome.
you know, there's the other side of the coin where but it's life, right? And cherish every day, because you don't know, as they say, tomorrow is not guaranteed to anyone. Yeah. Rest in peace, Brian Wheeler, 61 years old, my good buddy, and a guy that everyone loved, gone way too soon. So yeah, spend the holidays, enjoy it, be thankful for what you have. And I hope you're thankful if you're healthy. And if if not healthy, you can get healthy. All right. Your mind, very powerful. Use it. Going to get you healthy.
Damn right. Love that.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you to everyone else. Happy Thanksgiving. I've got one thing to say before we adjourn. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like Kings basketball. Oh, boy. Happy Thanksgiving.